Slamming and taking down other racers earns boost faster in this car, and you can use it at any time.
Hello, I'm Dava, and I'd like to make a video just pouring my heart out. I'm sorry if that's embarrassing. um, and it's about how I feel about the dynamics between Scottish and English and politics and being an own country. Uh, now, up until the independence referendum, I was quite positive, and I looked back and I thought to myself, do you know what? Some of the stuff that England and Scotland did together, that was okay. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, we can go our separate ways now, and I can feel good about English people, and and I want to be that guy again. I want to be friendly and I want to feel positive. I mean, I've supported Scottish independence since I was 11 years old. I was treated badly in England as a child by English because I was Scottish. I was treated badly by teachers in England because I was Scottish. I I've had many negative experiences with English people. I found out about my history, and it blew my mind. Like, oh well, this is why they were all being mean to me, because they managed to take over my country. You know, it's still a little kid, and by the time I got to 11, the ideas were all bubbling around in my mind. I remember coming back from Ingleston Market. We used to go there quite often. It was my gran and my aunt. I lived with them. Um, and this was a dynamic because sometimes my mum would live in England and I would try and live with her and stuff from long, long ago. But I would end up going back to my gran and my aunt, and I would try living with them. So we were coming back from Ingleston Market one rainy Sunday, and I looked up, and over the top of one of the railway bridges, it said "English go home," and I went, "Oh!" And it all just kind of fell into place for me. You know? I mean, I've told this story a few times, you know, about the place, but no harm in telling it here. When I was a little kid, I had a stepdad. And this was my first stepdad, not my second one that I mentioned before. My first stepdad was a piece of work. And I could tell some quite horrifying stories, but no. And he was English. And we had to move down to Norfolk. This was him missing his family or something, or who knows. And I went to the local school, and there was a German kid who was around about my age, and all the other kids seemingly, he was quite unpopular with all the other English kids, but he was so happy when I came, and I didn't quite understand why for the first week, and he started saying offensive stuff to me and everything else. All the kids, well, it wasn't him first, right, because it was a wee lassie and she told me I was stupid and poor and all this, right. Anyway, they said all sorts of stuff about me being Scottish. They had been picking on this German kid, but now he was one of the gang because a Scottish kid was there. Do you get that? I mean, they're saying very inappropriate things to him about certain events in the World Wars and calling him this. And as soon as a Scottish person shows up, all the little kids they all accept him, and I'm the outsider. I get told that your country's not a real country, it's a pretend country, and you're all lying. That's what my dad said. You're all lying about it. Imagine it. I was only 5 years old. I didn't really understand what country was. I could go on all day about this. All the stories all the things that happened to me there. But anyway, right, I want to talk about how conflicted I feel, because when I feel unionists coming at me, and a vast majority of them aren't Scottish, right? They're English, and some of them even pretend to be Scottish, pretend to be Scottish just to get other people on their side. Some of them are from New Zealand. Some of them are from Australia. Well, I haven't really seen any Australians yet, being completely honest. I have seen New Zealand. I have seen one Canadian, which is really odd because the Canadians were quite positive about Scottish independence, except for the politicians, because they're scared that Quebec would get ideas. I'm all for a unified Canada because I don't want to get into the Scottish-French history of Canada. Anyway, it's a bit like telling your mother she shouldn't get a divorce. Do you know? Anyway, I've kind of forgot the point I was making. Alright, people pretending, and you get Americans pretending, and you get expats pretending. It's been awful. I forgot what my point was before that. Alright, how am I meant to feel about English people? Am I meant to be this nasty racist monster and painting them to be monsters? No, that's no good to anybody. I don't want to be that guy, they don't want to be that guy. Nobody wants to be that guy. But I feel all this pent up resentment, and and I try and diffuse it with that it's English politics, which it actually is, because I would welcome English people here after we had our independence. Before it, I don't want them coming here to mess with the vote, and we've already got a huge slice of the Scottish electorate that's English. They shouldn't get a vote, because they're instantly biased, because England chased Scotland for 900 years. They're obvious, it's written into them that they're going to vote for for the Union, going to vote against independence. A touch of toothache. I don't want to hate anybody, you know, and I don't want to have close links to England, and I don't want an open border. I just want to treat England and the English like a foreign country, and that's my true desire. I don't want to be ultra chummy with them. I don't want to have a great trade deal or whatever. I just want to pretty much get Scotland independent and then ignore them. Which is funnily enough what I would do in a relationship. Being that England is pretty much married to Scotland and Wales, Northern Ireland, that's like his wife's. And in the situation where it was a divorce, I'm Catholic, I don't believe in divorce, right, but in this context it's okay. In the divorce, I would just ignore him, and I got on with my main life. Okay, that he lives next door. I'd put up a nice big fence and go away. That's it. Now that might sound cold, but there's no hateful. It is just moving on. I don't want you to spend any time involved or anything with England. I just want that's it, it's over, and we're away. I don't care about football teams, which seems to be a kind of thing that there's a load of Scots who are fascinated by English football teams. I don't care about football. I've never cared about football. Well, I went through a period when I was like, I don't know, 11, 12, where I was trying to fit in with everybody, and I started buying, I'm Catholic, I bought Celtic tops for, I don't know, about 6 months. Got it for my birthday. Something. It's expensive. Half my family's Catholic, half my family's Protestant. I grew up with a very unique point of view, that I loved these people and it didn't matter. And that's what my father was like. My father actually said before that he died when I was 9 weeks old. It was 7 weeks old. 7 weeks old. And my father had a very open point of view as far as Catholic and Protestant. And this is during the 70s. His best friend was Catholic and he was Protestant. he was very progressive, which I'm very impressed with. And this is during the 70s when people were knifing one another and all this kind of stuff. And there's my dad. He doesn't care. He supported the local football team. Didn't he support Rangers? Supported the local football team. Anyway, the English. It's like some sort of crazy bad hangover. The emotions I get when thinking about like British, the word British, it's like I went on some crazy over drinking fest and I've woke up and there's all these problems now. And that's what the union feels like emotionally to me. You look around and you see that so much of it has failed, so much of it was evil. I mean, people go, oh well, you know, that was some people's view of their time. Well, it doesn't stop us in the present evolving our views of how we see the connotations of what those people did. And I'm specifically talking about racism. Like, is it evil for me to condemn past racism as part of the union and not evolve? Obviously, no, I have to evolve, I have to grow, I have to condemn things that I don't agree with. And the Empire was so evil in that way. So what am I really saying if I stay a part of it? I'm saying I believe that the evil was right? Or I'm going, oh well, I'm just going to ignore all the things the evil that was done? The many atrocities, I was watching a video tonight about India gaining its freedom from Britain, and I got to see a very lateral view, I felt, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was on the Indian side. It was done by a very English-sounding person. That was the narrator. I don't know offhand who did the actual research. Oh, we've barely even scratched the surface here, and I can hear Haunted House playing. Okay, I might let this run out. The whole point of this video is I'm just questioning, how do I not be the monster? How can I feel the way I feel and want to exclude the English so badly and then still be a good person? I just want them to stay away until we get independence. After independence, right, well, if you want to emigrate here, right, you'll be welcome. I don't know. I get so wound up I want to just say nasty things to them online. Because it's so stupid, so low IQ, so... They have this sense of entitlement that Britain was great in that it should continue, and Scotland should be owned by England, and we are to be serfs or second-class citizens, and to hand over our wealth to England until it's drained, and then they kick us to the curb. And you get all that as soon as you see their Union Jack. Waves of that comes over you. I mean, you're talking to a unionist, right? No, that's no fair. I can't say unionist, right? When you talk to certain English individuals, they will talk down to you just because you're Scottish. And it isn't that they're talking down to you out of utter condescension. It's a sense of arrogance that they give off because of the way things played out. You can hear it in their voice. Aye. Folk are complicated creatures, and Scots can normally pick up on things. Now, if somebody says to you, "Oh, I came to your country and it was really cheap," is that a compliment or an insult? What is that? "Oh, I'll come back to your country again because it's cheap." It is a long-standing taboo between English and Scots. If you come up here, you don't talk money. Look, I'm not done. Let's jam it. Make it a bit longer. So any copyright music comes up. I'll start it a bit later, so make sure. I just want that Union Jack and the Empire to just be done, and England can be England, and they can enjoy being England and being English and whatever that is. Seems like they're quite isolationists, which is odd for how much an empire they owned. It's just no starting. I don't want to be part of anything in the day. I just want to go. It's a sad thing. I don't mean being a part of it in the first place. I mean the whole idea is sad. Forcing folk to absorb your culture by taking them out. I want to talk Scots. I want Scots to get even further and further away from English. I want it to evolve. And I want us to be bilingual because of the Americans. There you go. A dose of honesty there. Because I want to know and have access to technology. And that seems to be predominantly in English. So I'm okay with Scots being bilingual. It'd be good if we didn't code switch. It'd be good if we didn't use English as a prestige language. Like I was saying in the bad audio video, it's I'm 42. I've been taught this my whole life, and it's awful. I don't want to be this way. I don't want to talk English. I actually would just prefer to only have spoken Scots my whole life. Aye, knowing it's handy. It's handy. Not for any prestige value. It's for excuse me. It's for American media, because they pump so much money into their TVs and TV shows and movies and their entertainment, and having access to that and no have to have a translation of it. That's very handy. Technology, you know. I want access to technology, and because America's such a big consumer market, then it's all in English. So it's not that I revere English. So I really don't. I've been more and more resentful of it. It's just been this last 6 months. I was laxing lyrical. The irony of messing that up. Waxing lyrical about English and flexing my grammatical muscles. About 6 months ago, and now I kinda resent that I did that. I kinda resent that I took English that far to learn it finally. And it's bothering me. I mean, even my band's music, there's only one song that's in Scots. all of these songs. Now what you're hearing now is a selection, I think it's 8 or 9 songs. And it's a playlist I've got, and it's Best of Distorted Steel. We've got like 4 albums, EP albums, and out of that, only one of them is sung in Scots, which I regret. It shows the shame. I spoke about this in another video with the bad audio. Scots have a sense of shame because they were taught as Wains, and I was taught as well, no to talk Scots. That it was slang. Don't talk slang. What a rum do that is. And we all talked that way, and we did it, and our parents talked that way, and their parents talked that way. Even though in school, notice we doing this code switching thing, and I do it when I have to sound intelligent. I have to speak English to make it sound intelligent. What a load of offensive nonsense is that? What, Scots isn't good enough to be a language that's intelligent? Really think about it. See, when you hear me, are you thinking that I'm just some... When I'm talking Scots, that I'm just some idiot? Well, I pointed something to you there that you hadn't thought of. So what kind of intelligent thing would you have to say for Scots to be considered intelligent? It's indoctrination, and we've all been indoctrinated into the English way of thinking. And one of the ways is language. The other way is through entertainment. That it's reinforced in us that we are English, even though we're not. And it doesn't matter how much tokens they spend at a fruit machine, it never adds up. Do all the token Scots stuff they want. Not one of the English people is thinking, oh, that's like me. Their culture is fundamentally different. How is it different? Is that a big claim? If you live it, you do it. Now, I've no doubt that Scots have similarities with English, but do you know what? Same similarities could be said around the world. Go to any country. There's no unique bond that ties us. and there's no unique excuse that they can give for why they want to indoctrinate us into being English. No, they could say, oh well, you know, you can have your... listen to me doing it again. Making English the intelligent language. That's prestige language for you. Forgot my point there. And that's no down to being stupid. That's down to my sleep apnea, and I'm in a lot of pain. So my mind skips a track every so often. It's hard to concentrate. English could make a point that that there's a unique bond between us, but really there's no. I don't see it. I don't see it any more than, you know, I often compare the English to the Germans, and if they, it's ironic with Brexit, if there was any country that they were going to be like, it would probably be Germany. Or the Dutch. Aye. Yeah. If you come here and you live here and you raise your wains here, and you raise your grandwains here, then aye, you've done your time. There's an expression for guitarists: you've earned your chops. That means, it's a wee bit harder to explain. It means you've earned what you got. And I respect that. Right now, the English are sitting at home and just expecting us to toe the line. They didn't even have to come to our country for us to say, yes, sir, salute them, and aye, we'll do what you want and absorb your culture and pretend to be like you. I say that, but 500,000 English are here. And in the Barton it's getting more and more and more. What I say in my town. In my town it's more and more and more. And what is he doing here? Is it to stop Scots from getting independence? Is this some sort of scheme, or what is this? Now I was walking at Asda the other day, and I heard in two separate instances they weren't together, an English person talking and then a family of English people. And I was like, what? And then 2 nights ago the delivery driver for my takeaway was English. And I'm going, And this is on top of last year. No, it wasn't last year. It was... I don't know how to put this right. So, I'm going to talk about McDonald's, right? Because I've yet to hear a Scottish person in there. So the local McDonald's, right? So since 2011, and I've been through there loads of times in a drive-through, I've yet to hear a Scottish person. Say a Scottish lassie that, sorry, it's either English lassie or an English guy. And that retail part down there, now if this was post-independence, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. I wouldn't think a thing of it. But seeing how the way the results come out, that's got me gripped with anti-English tension. I just want to get the independence, and then I'll be alright with English. So I guess that's the answer then. That I'm no a monster. It's just I'm afraid. I'm afraid at English people messing with our politic when we Scots flat out hate their politics, and there's not a bit of racism in that. We have hated their politics for hundreds of years, and it's provable by the last 50 years. Seriously. You'll even get unionists who hate Westminster and all this, right? You know, Westminster is very, very unpopular. London to some extent as well, because it swallows all the money, spits out poverty. So that's the answer then. Having the English hoisting their politics on us and threatening Scottish politics has made me nervous and aggressive towards them and resentful, and that's bubbling to the surface. It's making me angrier and angrier the more that their politics fail, and it's already failed decades ago, right? But the more arrogant that they are with me and my politics of independence, that I know how unpopular English politics is in Scotland. This is a bad cocktail. I have to have a reaction to it because I'm a human being. Aye, that makes a kind of sense. Aye. Right, well I hope this isn't too long for YouTube. The link to all our albums is... It actually redirects you to Tindeck, which is where you can get the albums from. You can download individual tracks or whole albums. You just need to know where to click. Well, I hope it was honest. I don't guarantee that you enjoyed it. But it was just what I was thinking at the time. And stuff that's been building up now for years. Whoever you are, have a good day.